A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm here to present our annual report, and I'm also going to identify different things that have been said there, which works in great alignment with our new industrial strategy. And I hope we can take some key messages away from this for all of us. 2020 was a time of constant turmoil for all of us for obvious reasons. We saw a lot of upheaval in our way of doing business, but amidst all of this, we had Amal. We had capabilities, we had belief in ourselves, and we came out of this looking good. We came out of this ensuring food security happened. We came out looking that in a way that we did not have any shelves empty. We had no households going hungry, and that was a major point was that we all worked and collaborated and worked together. And this is a message I want to sort of start with and take through. Collaboration is going to be key as we build a new normal as well. The pandemic, as mentioned, has had a massive impact on all of us. We've seen severe impacts on lives as well as livelihoods. And when we're looking at building this new normal right now, and you're looking at any new strategy that we're going to build upon to take us out of this situation, we need to ensure certain principles are kept in place to ensure a brighter, more robust future. These principles would be to ensure self-sufficiency, to have sustainable models, and to ensure reliability in our logistics and delivery to market. Because this is not the first time we've had to revise our thinking. The first time we've coming facing a crisis and coming out of it. The last time this happened in the financial crisis in 2008, 2009, there was a very high dependence on oil at 40% contribution to GDP, which is now around 25%. And we built other pillars of the economy like trade and tourism, which served the economic revival since then. And now, as we're facing another crisis and we're looking to build it once again, we need to construct other pillars of our economy. And these pillars of economy have already been outlined in the new industrial strategy, where we're talking about our very own industry, the food and beverage industry, where it has been identified to reinforce our resilience in these industries. The food, agriculture, and water industries are part of this vision as well. What does this mean for our industry? What does it mean for the F&B industry in UAE? We have a target right now to make more in UAE. We have a target of contributing more to the economy with Operation 300 billion. And I think we're already in a good place to begin. We already have a lot of capacity. We already have a lot of investments which will take us towards that. And by collaborating with the right partners, by collaborating with the right partners like DP World, we can not only ensure food security for the country, not just meet local demands, but we can also capitalize on export markets, not just regional, but global as well. So the world is our oyster as such. One way, the reason why I say export markets is something that we can all focus on is just take a look at our population. UAE is very unique. It has 200 different nationalities that call our country home. We need to look at the home countries of all these 200 different people, 200 different nationalities. This means that we are already catering, we are already catering to the tastes of these different population across nationalities, across income level, and we already have very diversified portfolio of products. So we are catering to all kinds of customers, all kinds of segments, all kinds of different niches are being catered to, and there's no stopping us from catering to even their home countries as well. So the markets are open. We already worked out the consumer. Now it's about targeting the markets, and we can very well do that with the logistics and infrastructure that is already in place in our country. This also opens up the doors for companies in these home countries that we're talking about to come and make UAE their home. The companies themselves can come and set up and establish out here and conduct business in this country to tap into the global markets that UAE enables. And this is a great opportunity for all of us just by looking at our current population. Understanding the population is going to be extremely important because we've seen in 2020, consumer behavior changed very rapidly. And it's going to be very important to keep an eye on how consumer behavior is going to establish itself as the new normal is going to be defined, not just at an industry level, but also at a consumer behavior level. We saw bulk purchasing increase rapidly. Online shopping was everybody is now on conducting commerce online. People prefer long shelf life products. People prefer healthy products. People preferred locally produced products, and people stopped caring about the brands as much as they used to earlier, and they started caring more about availability. And all of these have had varying degrees of an impact over the course of the year, but and these are changing as we speak as well. So there's a lot to watch out for to see how this is evolving. It's very important for us to bear this in mind as we plan and prepare for the new future. So all the food that we produce, it must be consumed, and the way to consumption, the way to consumer, the route to consumer is going to be through either horeca or to the retail, either through restaurants or to the retail channels. It's very important to understand how these two different partners of our industry have fared over the year and what needs to be done as we prepare the future. The hotel, restaurants, cafeteria industry suffered the most. As we mentioned, consumer behavior was based on paranoia. People were stopped going to restaurants, and this had a cascading effect. Restaurants were shutting down, employees were being laid off, food was getting spoiled, food stocks were just not being utilized, and people were not getting paid right across the supply chain. This caused a lot of damage to the industry. But this also gives us opportunities to understand there's a problem to solve. A problem which can be solved with more efficient supply chains, with better warehousing, with a new normal being defined. We need to find a way to support the HoReCa industry to once again be the proponent of the tourism industry that it has been so far. And this is a very important aspect of our new normal as we're going to shape it. On the other hand, we saw retail, which kind of boomed during the course of the pandemic because people were buying more than ever. People were stocking up and stockpiling for like never before, afraid of another lockdown. So the retail landscape was very, very different from the HoReCa space. The retail landscape in UAE is actually controlled by a few large retailers, and it makes it all the more important for us to have a very clear understanding of how retail is going to shape, how retail is going to be a major proponent of this new normal that we're talking about. Because if we allow things to continue as they are, where there's a sort of few entities are controlling the entire market, it will have a cascading impact not just on manufacturers but also on consumers as well as the small retailers. It's important that we ensure in this new normal that we're going to define as per the new strategies that we're all working on, that we need to reduce the cost of retail. We need to promote made in UAE products. We cannot talk about make it in the Emirates for the rest of the world when we don't even promote them in our own country. So charity begins at home. And we need to relook at how pricing and price control mechanism are in place, because we cannot afford price wars, because price wars is a race to the bottom, and it will have an impact on not just the producers but also on the smaller retailers who will not be able to compete in this environment. With that, I would like to just take a moment to summarize, to say that the core objective for all of us right now is to find ways to collaborate across the ecosystem, to find ways to collaborate with trusted partners who can help us reach markets and to help us gain more efficiencies across logistics and production. Partners like DP World and have reached out, and we should work together to build this new ambitious future that we have all planned out and are setting out for at the moment. A quick view on what we call a subsector view. So I'm going to revert to the our report right now, where we talk about different subsectors. We talk about what defines a subsector, what are the key companies that are there, what are the import trends that we have seen over the year in terms of because we are major importers of food. What are the import trends that have happened in each subsector? How the retail environment shaped up, and we even went about defining a new metric, a country dependency metric. Where is our food coming from? Where is dairy, for example, coming from? So we are able to identify how dependent are we on one particular country. And we also talk about key concerns which afflict one particular subsector, which may or may not be generic to the entire industry, but it ought to be very specific to a particular subsector. We talk about different aspects of supply and demand. We talk about different subsectors like poultry and seafood. We talk about all these different aspects to get a better understanding of our entire environment, and we are able to then identify areas where we can actually focus and build a better future for all of us. I would like to also just take a moment to talk about our organization. The UAE Food and Beverage Manufacturers Group is a business association. We were formed in 2012. as part of the Dubai Chamber of Commerce. Our group basically tries to bring together all manufacturing firms in the UAE to come together and work together. Essentially, it's a collaborative platform where we identify the key challenges faced by the industry and find ways to resolve these issues. We're committed to the development of our industry. We're committed to finding opportunities for our industry to grow and to form networking and collaboration opportunities so that we can all innovate and actually see beyond what we're looking at the moment. A quick mention of our board members who have been instrumental and extremely supportive of all our initiatives and have held us together and given us the inspiration to keep working and to keep finding new ways to contribute to the collective benefit of our entire industry and the overall economy as well. Without them, this report even would not have seen day of light. Our dear members who have been with us through the entire journey since 2012 and especially over 2020, providing us with key insights, key pieces of information, guiding us and explaining to us how the industry works as only they can. People who are from the industry can only guide us and tell us what the industry is all about. And that is an invaluable input that we receive from our members. Some of these initiatives that our board members and our participating members have supported us in and inspired us to work and build towards. We are working on the UAE Food Platform, which is the platform which connects various members of the stakeholder ecosystem, which is surrounding the F&B industry. We talk about government regulators, we talk about producers and distributors, we talk about consumers as well as retail. So we're talking about all the different stakeholders who play a role in the efficiencies of our industry, and how do we put them together, how do we all work together in a more efficient way, in a, in a data driven efficient manner is what the objective is. We have a flagship event called the Future Food, where we conducted we had one live event back in 2019. We've even had some events over Zoom in the last few months. We had a couple of sessions, and we're all very excited to expect a live event again in June this year. And we hope to see you all there as well, where we can all come together and network and speak in the new normal. One of our very exciting projects that we're working on at the moment is the F&B Innovation Lab, which is a venture that we're conducting with the Khalifa Fund. The focus here is to essentially foster and develop, to focus on innovation. And it's not just innovation for the sake of it. We also want to nurture the next generation, where our focus is going to be on the young Emirati talents. We want to encourage the young Emiratis to be part of the food industry, to take it forward, to take it to new heights. And that's going to be our objective with the F&B Innovation Lab. And with that, I would like to conclude. Thank you very much for your time.